Now at 10, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump meet on the debate stage for the first time. Plus, Joplin city officials finalize plans to revitalize Ewart Park. And the Pittsburgh City Commission discusses proposed ordinances related to the homeless community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Immigration, the economy, foreign policy, and reproductive rights. The presidential candidates tonight faced off on a wide range of topics. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. It was the first and perhaps only debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Reporter Natalie Brand has details from the debate site in Philadelphia.
Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump took the debate stage in Philadelphia in their first ever meeting face to face.
I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again.
With polls showing a razor-tight race just 8 weeks until Election Day, they tackled issues top of mind for voters, including the economy and inflation.
We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses.
The two went head-to-head on abortion.
This is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years.
The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body.
They sparred over immigration.
We have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Trump repeated a baseless claim about migrants abducting and eating pets in Ohio. Officials say there's no evidence.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
You talk about extreme.
This was Trump's 7th presidential debate, Harris's first, an opportunity for her to define herself and explain her policy positions to voters. A CBS News poll found roughly 4 in 10 voters in several battleground states said they didn't know what Harris stood for, in stark contrast to Trump.
And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America.
If she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance.
This is currently the only debate scheduled between the two candidates, though both sides have signaled they're open to at least one more. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Both candidates plan to head back out on the campaign trail, visiting battleground states this week. Harris plans to campaign in North Carolina Thursday, while Trump is off to the border state of Arizona. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice one for us today. A little bit hotter. The humidity is so low, so it allows those temperatures to really drop at night and then really rise during the afternoon. 89 was our high, 51 is where we started, above our average of 84 degrees. Outside right now, we're cooling down mid-60s, Joplin near 60 in Pittsburgh, but most of us kind of sitting in that 60 to about 66 degree range. Nothing going on. We have pretty much clear skies. We have clear skies across the entire Central Plains. We are tracking Hurricane Francine, which will somewhat affect us as we go through the next few days, but at least for tonight, we look pretty good. By midnight, we kind of drop back through the 60s, and I think most of us 57 to about 60 degrees. Stays warm the next few days. We're going to look at that, plus rain chances here in a bit.
See you soon. Authorities in Jasper County have arrested a suspect in the deaths of 8 puppies found in a plastic tote outside the Joplin Humane Society. Humane Society officials say that tote was discovered this past weekend in a spot where it was not easily seen. All of the puppies were found dead inside. Now the sheriff's office says a suspect is in custody, though official charges are pending. Authorities also have a person of interest in this case who was arrested for outstanding warrants. City of Joplin has plans to bring a state-of-the-art facelift to Ewart Park. City leaders received feedback from neighborhood stakeholders on information gathered in the park's master plan. Meanwhile, members of the homeless community say revitalization is fine, but don't forget about them. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has more.
2 other males got into it, and one of them brandished a machete and the other one pulled out a katana, and then And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm leaving.
Tom Walters says an upgrade for Ewart Park is great, but the safety of the park needs one too. He says homelessness needs to be taken care of right away.
And the homeless people that are here are mostly homeless people that are not don't want to go to the shelter, because at the shelter they have to follow a certain rules or guidelines to.
Felipe, a once homeless resident at Ewarts Park, says the homeless people here are his family and wants the city to take care of them.
So how do I feel about revandalizing the park? If it benefits them as well, yeah. Not just for the community, or whether the community is donating money or whether they're being taxed.
Meanwhile, the city says residents want a change, and that's what they're doing.
The idea is to put some more security into the park, meaning we're going to have lit areas that make it safer at night. We're also implementing security cameras throughout the whole park.
If they expect the homeless people to go somewhere else, they're going to have to build a facility to house them.
The city says everything from a new splash park, a new play area, shade structure, and more will be featured in the new makeup. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The revitalization is set to be completed in early 2026. Officials are still receiving feedback from the public about how to make the park more family-friendly. City of Pittsburgh wants to crack down on people who take shopping carts from grocery stores and rummage through trash bins. The Director of Community Development and Housing for the City of Pittsburgh says it's an effort to keep the community clean. And she says when people steal shopping carts, well, it hurts the businesses.
We found that it's more frequent than we'd like, and it's also really difficult for the retailers to recoup that cost. Shopping carts are really expensive, so when they leave the retailer's property, it's an additional cost for them to replace those.
Commissioners passed both ordinances on first reading tonight. Pro-life organizations gathered today outside the new Planned Parenthood clinic in Pittsburgh to express their views. These organizations included Operation Rescue and Students for Life of America. Organizers say they want to bring attention to the new facility and the fact that abortions are performed there. They say they're also concerned about the center's proximity to Pittsburgh State University and to the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, which have more restrictive abortion laws.
We want to save babies from abortion. We want women to have productive lives that include their children. We believe that women can be productive and successful and live very fulfilled lives with their children at their side instead of their children being tossed away like they're trash.
In a statement to KOAM, a spokesperson for Planned Parenthood called the event a, quote, unnecessary disruption to the patients who come to Planned Parenthood for essential, comprehensive, sexual, and reproductive health care services. Missouri's Supreme Court today ruled an amendment to restore abortion rights in Missouri can stay on the November ballot. Amendment 3 aims to make abortion rights a part of the Missouri Constitution. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft had removed the measure from the ballot following a county circuit judge's ruling in a case claiming the petition to add it misled voters by not informing them of all the abortion laws it would repeal. The state's highest court disagreed and says Ashcroft must ensure the measure is on the ballot. Coming up, we're going to have a reaction to Mercy dropping one of Missouri's biggest insurance providers. Plus, how some Joplin fifth graders got free health screenings at KCU Joplin. Mercy Hospitals may soon drop one of the largest insurance companies as an in-network provider. Today, Mercy announced the end of its contract with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield in the state of Missouri. Chris Bryant explains what you need to know.
For those with Anthem, the possibility of not having coverage with Mercy can be concerning.
You know, you think you're on a good plan, maybe it has a low deductible, maybe it has things that you like, and having to kind of restart from ground zero, very frustrating. A lot of people don't even know where to go.
Mercy says its contracts with Anthem include Medicare Advantage, Affordable Care Act Marketplace, and managed Medicaid plans like Healthy Blue and HealthLink, which falls under the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield umbrella, all would be affected. The hospital says its focus remains on safeguarding patients and ensuring they receive low-cost, high-quality care they deserve with insurance coverage that provides the greatest amount of protection for their health. Mercy also noted it hopes to remove much of the red tape, making it increasingly difficult for patients to navigate Anthem's system and creating a burden and barrier for patients to receive care when it's medically necessary. Anthem released a statement to KY3 News saying in part, over the next 2 years, Mercy wants to increase the prices it charges our members and employers by 5 times the current inflation rate. Mercy has also demanded contract language that would keep specialty medications unnecessarily expensive when lower cost options are available. Anthem says it has offered reasonable payment increases in excess of the customer price index for each of the next 2 years and will continue working hard to reach an agreement. If a new agreement can't be reached, Mercy will become an out-of-network provider starting January 1st. Matt Timman is the owner of Missouri Insurance Advisors. He says if you are looking at changes, it's important to speak with someone local.
You just have to talk to someone who knows what they're doing, who's in the space every single day, who can give you the proper guidance for this area specifically, for Southwest Missouri.
For those who live in an area like Springfield, there are options, but those in rural areas may need to seek advice when it comes to the future with their health insurance provider.
If you're in Aurora, Missouri, or Mount Vernon, or wherever you are, and all that there is a Mercy clinic, or maybe on the other side of that, maybe all that there is a Cox clinic, your insurance dropping out of that network, I mean, you might have to get your kids to go drive you somewhere now.
Now, this is just for Mercy patients in Missouri. For Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield patients in Kansas, Mercy will still be accepted as an in-network provider after January 1st. KCU Joplin today hosted its Score One for Health screening. It's a chance for 5th graders from Cecil Floyd, Jefferson, and Royal Heights Elementary Schools to visit the KCU Joplin campus and get a health screening. Second-year medical students supervised by physicians and nurses provided the health assessments, including blood pressure and physical checks.
This is an environment where the kids obviously are feeling good, or they wouldn't be here. So a well child exam is an important thing for a child to experience. It gives them confidence encountering the healthcare system, someone in a white lab coat.
Those health screenings were provided free of charge. The Webb City Public Library is teaching people how to make healthier choices when it comes to food. Today they hosted a Healthy Eats workshop, first of 5. This one focused on changing to healthy habits. Each workshop will also feature a certain healthy dish for people to learn, and today that dish was fruit salad.
It gives the community a great opportunity to learn different healthy things. I started about a year ago. There's a lot I've learned. There's a lot I'm trying to put into practice with grocery prices going up, meal planning and making lists and being prepared and seeing what's out there, is going to help during this time as prices have gone up.
The library is going to host a workshop every Tuesday through October 8th from 11 a.m. to noon. Next week's focuses on food safety and will teach people how to make a chicken, broccoli, and cheese skillet. A little bit later, how people along the Gulf Coast are bracing for Hurricane Francine.
Plus, will we see anything from Hurricane Francine? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, for us today, a little bit warmer, but still the humidity has been on the low side and it looks pretty good still as we go through the next couple days. Allergies, though, on the other hand, have been on the high side across the region. If you are an allergy sufferer, especially ragweed, 9.5 out of 12 today, 9.4 out of 12 tomorrow. Of course, we have other allergies as well, but ragweed is topping the list for us today. Great shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperature is very pleasant, 63 in Chanute, 62 in Nowata, Grove 64, Carthage also sitting at 64 degrees, and our humidity has been so low. Look at our dew points measuring our humidity out there and what this means for you. When they're in the 40s to near 50, we're on the bottom of the scale, so it's nice and refreshing. And that's what we're going to see once again as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. Outside, not too much going on, pretty much clear skies across the region. We can widen the vantage point. Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, all clear, but we are tracking Hurricane Francine, which just recently became a hurricane. It was a very strong tropical storm, so it's a low-grade hurricane. Sustained winds at 75, moving northeast at about 10. So if we watch Francine, into the daytime hours tomorrow, moves toward New Orleans. They're probably going to take the strongest hit from Hurricane Francine. Thankfully, it's not an extreme hurricane, but watch what she does. Once she makes landfall, she'll kind of maneuver up into parts of Mississippi, so kind of turns north, even a hair northwest as we get into Thursday evening. But most of the rain sits in southeastern parts of Missouri. You can see the cloud cover gets all the way out into eastern Kansas, eastern parts of Oklahoma, but not the rain. And it's the rain that we definitely need. So let's go ahead and look at it. Tonight, dipping back 57 to about 60. Sunny skies again tomorrow. We go into the mid-80s by noon. Similar to today, maybe a notch or two hotter, 91, maybe 92 degrees. Some mid and upper level clouds start to stream in tomorrow night. So we'll say mostly cloudy by Thursday morning and then mostly cloudy on Thursday. Now, western counties a little bit more sunshine, so you will go upper 80s and then mid to lower 80s on the Missouri side where the clouds are going to be a little bit thicker. But as we get into Thursday night and Friday morning, watch the rain advance in and then it stops. It doesn't even hardly get to Springfield or Branson. So our chances for rain from Francine are very, very slim as we go through the next few days. All right, Wednesday, 63 to start, 85 by noon, high temp of 90 degrees. We are tracking a bigger storm system, which will start to affect us as we head into the next week, and I think that's when we're finally going to get some rain. Actually, the next 2 weeks, we have pretty good chances for rain, but still dry the rest of this week. Let's go 90 for you tomorrow, 85 Thursday, 86 on Friday. The weekend looks good, upper 80s to near 90, so very consistent the next several days. Then those rain chances increase next week, which, boy, we need some rain. I haven't mowed in 3 weeks. I don't think my grass has grown.
The lawns are dry, the gardens are dry, and most of all those farmers need some rain, so let's hope we get some. Thanks, Doug. Hurricane Francine has been picking up speed and strength in the Gulf of Mexico as it continues to move north. The storm strengthened into a hurricane today before it makes landfall along the Louisiana coast tomorrow. Some residents in New Orleans today lined up to fill sandbags ahead of potential flooding. Texas Governor Greg Abbott also warned residents to brace for heavy rain, storm surge, possible power outages. Still ahead, Missouri Southern Athletics announces its 2024 Hall of Fame class. And Carthage High School softball hosts Kickapoo. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
The race for the Central Ozark Conference title is going to be especially tough in softball. We're just a couple weeks into the 2024 season. Several of our local teams are off to a great start. Just yesterday, we saw defending conference champ Neosho shut out Seneca, Carthage softball enters the day undefeated. The Tigers at home taking on Kickapoo. Carthage down 2-0 in the third, but Ashlyn Brust hits a line drive into left field. That brings in the first Tiger run of the game, and it's 2-1. She hustles into second on the throw home, and that's important because they're not finished. Later in the frame, Lottie Youngblood also knocks one into left. Brust hustles in from second. She scores. We're tied at 2. Kickapoo jumps back in front, brings a 4-2 lead into the final inning. This RBI single, part of a 3-run 7th. So Carthage enters its final at-bats down 7-2. Tigers still rally though. Youngblood again. This time she goes the other way into right field. They get some traffic on the base paths. Still in the bottom of the second. This time it's Lexi Youngblood who hits one sharply into left field. That scores a run. Tigers push across 3 runs in the 7th, but it's not enough. Kickapoo wins it 7-5, the final score. Busy day of softball throughout the rest of the COC. Webb City wins big. The Cardinals improved to 8-1 on the season with a 12-2 victory over Lebanon. That game goes final after just 6 innings. Joplin High School softball also wins today. The Eagles beat Glendale 5-2. They face Carl Junction tomorrow. Couple more games of note over in the Big 8 Conference. McDonald County picks up its second win of the season. Mustangs beat Seneca 12-4 at home. Monette gets its first victory tonight. Cubs score 11 runs in a home win over Aurora. Their next game Thursday on the road at Nevada. Missouri Southern Athletics announces today it has a new Hall of Fame class that'll get inducted next month, which includes 2 student athletes and 2 teams. Here's a look at the Lions Athletics 2024 Hall of Fame class. It includes Larry Barnes. He was a Lion running back on the football team in the late 70s, holds multiple records for the program, including average yards per rush and most career touchdown catches by a running back. Arlie Smith, a 5-time MIAA champ in multiple track and field events. Then the 09 women's cross country team. They took their 4th consecutive MIAA championship that year. They also took 3rd place at the national championships that season, along with the 1974-75 women's basketball team. That was the first MSSU women's athletic team. And they're all going to get honored as well at the football game. But Missouri Southern has that weekend against Emporia State. Obviously, the Lions starting 0-2, but looking to turn things around on the football field.
Yeah, seeing those honorees will be a thrill for the fans. I'm sure it's a great honor, of course, for those athletes. We'll be right back. It's been warm out there, borderline hot, but really overall pretty pleasant.
Yeah, the humidity being low has really helped us out. Back near 90 tomorrow, 85 Thursday, 86 Friday. Consistent all the way through the weekend, and finally, it looks like at least some decent rain chances moving in next week.
We need some consistent widespread rain.
We do.
Final sports note.
We are coming down the final stretch of the Major League Baseball season. Royals win tonight, Cardinals lose, and that's kind of the way things are shaping up. Royals are in good position for the playoffs, Cardinals not so much.
Good to see the Royals in the postseason.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And for Cardinals fans, maybe not so much. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.